He was shot in the head, where the brain is. How in the world is he going to survive that?
What is it?
Nothing. Anyway, what brings you here? I thought you were done with your business.
Did anyone else stop by? Nobody?
There'd be no reason for anyone else to come down here.
Yes, the guard will be one of ours. We'll have to eliminate him after to destroy the evidence, though.
So it's all true.
Of course it's true. Is something the matter?
It's Akechi-kun. He had to take a sudden call, so he won't be able to make it down today.
Huh?
I've been asked to handle things instead.
You? But...
You know, if you stay here, they'll likely get rid of you to eliminate any evidence. I suggest you go into hiding at once if you value your life.
Yes, ma'am.
And don't say a word of what transpired here. Trust nobody. Forget this ever happened.
He's dead!
And now we return to our continued report. This morning, the police have announced that they've detained a suspect who may in fact be the leader of the Phantom Thieves.
How does he survive this?
The suspect is reported to be a young
John,
man who's...
can I get you to look over here?
Oh, I'm sorry.
So he got caught.
How?
That group sure was something.
Yeah.
So the next shoot got me thinking. How about we have you do an idol thing, you know? That cool?
What a surprise to think that the one behind all this is just a minor.
But considering how quickly they announced his arrest, the police must surely be confident in the outcome of this case.
Well, I'll be. Goodness, look at you now. It's been a while, Ryuji.
You stopped visiting so abruptly, everyone was worried about you. It's your second year, right? Are you still doing track and field? I'd love to see you run again.
Also, the young man continues to remain silent, refusing to implicate any potential accomplices. However, considering the number of charges brought against him...
I wonder if something happened.
Yeah.
You seemed stumped for once. Not feeling it today?
Yes.
Oh, I'm not chiding you. Just do as normal at your own pace. With your skills, there's no need to worry about your future.
Normal, right?
He's just a high school student. How do you think he was contacting the others?
The police here can search any online communications. His accomplices may slip up eventually.
Have I gone insane?
Seems the Phantom Thieves' most recent targets have gone comatose.
Like, did I imagine him getting shot in the head?
Physical violence, their method is still a mystery. Regardless, the police are looking into attempted murder charges.
You never turned it in? That's quite the surprise. I thought I lost it this whole time.
I'm sorry.
Well, your grades are excellent, and you're student council president. I'm sure you'll be admitted anywhere you apply. That one Phantom Thief should have followed your example. You hear? It seems he was caught. Some high schooler. I wonder why he turned to a life of crime.
How do these people think? Not 10 minutes ago, you thought they were the greatest people in the world.
The young man was placed on probation for assault.
Because of his previous record, he had to leave his hometown. Perhaps his motive lies there.
I believe your father can rest in peace now. That Phantom Thief could never have changed anything.
The fuck are you doing with
A
her?
handful of people are qualified to alter the world. So you've been coming home late. That's what I've heard. I make a good playmate, you know.
We have breaking news.
What?
The young man being held in custody has committed suicide.
Didn't we? Wasn't the what?
Confirmed his death, although details have not been released. To repeat, the suspect has committed suicide while in
custody. This station will continue to report any further updates as they arrive.
It would be difficult to uncover his methods now.
I'm sorry, I have like a million questions right now. What the fuck is happening?
It can't be.
That's just the reaction I expected from you, Yusuke. What am I missing here?
It would seem as though you have been killed.
Okay, pause. Okay, so obviously something happened that I'm missing. That he's still, like, obviously they're not, like, I know the Persona 5 Strikers exist. I know there's more game to play. He's obviously not dead. That I'm just confused how the hell that happened. More importantly, wasn't that prick in the car with Haru that guy who her father was forcing her to marry? Wasn't the whole goddamn point of me going to that stupid palace that she wouldn't be forced to marry that prick? Like, what was the, why, what?
But why were you killed? Why did you have to die? Do you remember? It seems you forgot an important fact while your consciousness was hazy. Indeed, your death was a necessity for your escape from certain doom. What a tremendous plan.
How the hell did you pull this shit off?
Capable of executing such a feat. Well then, let us rouse the memories which are missing.
The first time I sensed something was off, it was during the school festival.
Hey, they're going. You realized it too, then. It was our conversation about pancakes, right? There's no way he could have reacted like that if he hadn't heard me.
Yeah, I noticed that the second that he opened his goddamn mouth.
My thoughts exactly. It was your social studies trip. We met him in the hall.
Yes, I know what happened. I was there. I pointed it out immediately. Stop telling me things I already know. And tell me how you survived the bullet to the head.
It's okay. Let's get everyone on the same page right away.
Like, how did you...
One more person has been on our mind. If it's possible, I want to eavesdrop on their phone conversation. That'll be tough. I agree. I'd have to plant a bug directly on the phone. So it's impossible even for you. I didn't say it was impossible. Okay, I've got a plan. That's perfect. Don't worry, I'll tell you the details later.
And then she told me the details immediately anyway. What?
This is gonna be fun. I can't wait.
I can't even begin to fathom how that could have worked.
I see. So we're going to use this place.
It'll be a gamble. I think it's gonna work. You can't tell a thing.
It seems you finally remember.
Gun, bullet, brain, how?
This game is not over yet.
I knew it wasn't over a long-ass time ago.
There are still things that...
I know, how did he survive? You better not string me along until the end of the game to find out how he died, or how he didn't die. You better tell me right now. What the... Like, I assume the gun was swapped out for a gun with blank bullets, but how did you simulate the like, that guy... What? 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 You... Huh? Wait, what? You... Oh, yeah, but... I'm not... This isn't... You can't... But So it was all bullshit then. But... Since when can you... What the... You better start making sense, game. And you better start making sense real goddamn fast.
Hey, are you alright? Don't fall asleep until we reach our destination. Are you listening?
Are you listening? You weren't paying attention? Well, I guess I can see how you'd be lost in thought right now. Anyway, we need to talk about how to get out of this situation.
Futaba's monitoring of Akechi's phone has confirmed it. He did indeed have an ulterior motive.
It's on a completely different level than just that.
Not only was he trying to frame us, but he was the true culprit behind the mental shutdowns. His offer to assist us was simply a ploy to frame the Phantom Thieves and kill him. If we go into Sis's palace, as he suggests, we'll likely be met by a large ambush of police forces.
To think he would be this far gone. I know now what it means to feel a chill down my spine. Furthermore, he wishes to bring a police squad from reality into the palace.
If the 8 of us can enter at once, it's not inconceivable to think a larger group is possible. He may even be able to bring in vehicles or other special pieces of equipment.
So, this really was just a setup to shift the blame onto us.
He made us go after Okumura. Then once we triggered the change of heart, he killed him.
And he told us he had seen the true culprit, but it was him the entire time.
Yeah, he wasn't fooling, except for apparently you idiots. He wasn't fooling anybody with that.
The whole time he was working with Makoto's sister, he was really just some homicidal maniac. Come on, we gotta take that bastard Akechi down. Isn't that recording we got enough proof to do it?
No, Akechi is merely a tool. His orders come from elsewhere. The grand mastermind behind this all. An unimaginable fiend capable of arranging the murder of a suspect inside of a police station.
Unless we find out who that is, we will continue being targeted even if we defeat Akechi.
But what means do we have of learning his identity?
We'll have to make Akechi say it. Though once we do, that mastermind will likely eliminate us.
I think that will be the case eventually, regardless of whether or not we learn his identity. The only reason it hasn't happened yet is because we're an easy target to blame for his crimes. If he realizes that's no longer possible and abandons that plan, he may opt to kill us immediately.
Damn it! So we don't got a choice but to go with that bastard's suggestion.
But if we go into the palace like we're told, he'll get arrested and then Akechi will kill him.
Palace. The palace.
Actually, there's something I'd like to say regarding...
Aha! We can use the palace to our advantage!
What's this all of a sudden?
There's a way. A way to get past Akechi and get the mastermind to lay off of us, all while learning his identity.
Really?
You gotta be kidding me!
If he wants to kill the guy, why not let him? That is, inside of a palace.
Yes, we could have him kill the cognitive version, all the while believing he killed the real one.
Yeah, that's it!
It seems that's our only option. Listen close, everyone. I have a plan for how we can carry this operation out.
Ever since the death of their teenage leader, the Phantom Thieves have fallen silent. However, the police intend on continuing this investigation until the case is fully solved.
I'm sorry I'm late. I had to finish a few things at work. Where are they?
Waiting upstairs. Go tell them to come on down. I'm gonna fetch him.
You're her sister, correct?
Makoto told me everything. Futaba-chan, I'm sorry that I caused you so much trouble this past summer.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm far past the stage of characters apologizing for shit and then expecting me to forgive them immediately. I'm so far past that. Try again.
It's ancient history now.
No, that's...
Man, that goddamn detective.
Look who's here.
Hey, you big bastard.
How've you been?
Confused out of my fucking mind.
You must be fine if you're joking around like that.
It truly is a relief to see your face.
I bet that moron Akechi don't even know we tricked him yet.
Still, how'd you pull this off? Isn't this guy considered dead?
You weren't told anything? I heard my sister brought him here, though.
Yeah, she came over in a taxi, dumped him off, and told me to keep him safe. It was right after they announced he had died, too. Almost gave me a heart attack.
You know, it might have been a good idea to let him in on that. Did none of you idiots think to tell...
I didn't have time to explain.
My favorite line of dialogue. I don't have time to explain. You may as well have added, I don't have time to explain why I don't have time to explain. If you had time to say that sentence, then maybe you could have said, you're gonna get a report that says he died. Don't worry, it's not gonna be real. I'm taking care of it. If you had... Wow.
Hey, shouldn't we tell boss what really happened?
We wanted to make our enemy believe the leader of the Phantom Thieves was dead.
What?
What we did was make that enemy kill his fake in the metaverse.
Hold on a sec. Enemy? Fake? What are you talking about?
The true culprit behind all these incidents set us up. Our goal here was to determine their identity.
True culprit? I see. So you guys were going up against someone else.
It was Goro Akechi. You knew beforehand that he was the traitor, didn't you?
Akechi himself gave us the chance to strike back. He made one fatal mistake.
Couldn't you have just said from the beginning that Akechi was the real culprit?
Yes!
That wasn't something we could simply bring up.
Why?
We didn't have you suspect Akechi.
What?
Besides, neither you nor the other investigators would have believed something like that, would you?
If we told him... If I can piece it together, then I could have told her and be like, this is the evidence I can present to you that proves this is the...
True. Akechi was credited with the arrest of the Phantom Thieves. Not even I would think he was the culprit.
You would if I show you the evidence that I had, which is the same evidence that I had to figure out it was him in the first place.
In other words, you left him alone on purpose. That was a bold move.
Sorry, you believe all this, but you wouldn't have believed that Akechi was the culprit.
God, I can't keep up with any of this stuff. So what was this mistake Akechi made?
Well, he looked at the phone which sent him into the metaverse, into the palace or whatever.
He slipped up in regards to Morgana's voice.
You mean a cat?
Yes, Morgana can talk.
Sorry, was that supposed to be a joke?
Oh, our apologies. That's completely true.
You surprised?
Does that mean he said something just now as well?
But you don't understand him, do you? That's how it was for all of us at first, too.
It's like the bells from Polar Express.
When you're in the metaverse, Mona talks like a normal person. Once you hear that and your brain realizes he can actually talk, you start to understand him in reality. It's a change in most likely.
Thanks to Akechi's lame acting, we figured out something was up.
You didn't figure out jack shit.
When we talked to Akechi at the school festival, he was acting like he just realized Mona could talk. But we already saw him drop a mega hint about it way earlier.
But you didn't realize it at all! None of you thought about it at all!
Oh, I know a place.
Yes, I get it. I was there, I know. I spotted that immediately.
Only one who was talking about a pancake.
Yeah, are you really gonna... Wow, they really think you're just an idiot. They're taking so goddamn long to explain this really simple thing over and over again. It's like, see, the cat said the word pancake. But the people can't understand the cat unless they went to the other dimension. And then 5 minutes later, they say the same thing again and again and again. Like, I get it. I know. I saw it. And I heard it immediately. Stop telling me about it. And explain what you did with the stupid palace. I get it, Ryuji. Stop talking. I get it.
Seemed odd upon further thought.
Oh my god.
He did approach us when we found ourselves in the worst trouble yet.
That's why we asked Futaba-chan to wiretap his phone. I pretended to be interested in checking the phone out, but I was actually planting my app. My heart was pounding while I was doing it, though.
Even that ace detective could never have imagined a program being installed so quickly. Futaba's quirky nature proved to be a great help.
That was just an act. After a few days of listening, this confirmed his betrayal.
Then I'll guide the police into her palace and have them catch the Phantom Thieves in the act. That would be the only way to arrest them, given their methods. I'll deal with them after that. Let me see. We could say he stole the guard's gun and committed suicide during his imprisonment. How about that? Public security will occur on the first day. And with that room, my task will be simple.
Is this for real?
Yes, the guard will be one of ours. We'll have to eliminate him after to destroy the evidence, though.
So they planned to get rid of that guard from the beginning.
Well then, I will make the arrangements the day after the arrest. And thus, the dangerous criminal responsible for the mass mental shutdowns shall end his own life. When he does, you will become a great hero who saved Japan from evil. As will I, of course.
I knew he was acting strangely, but to think he was this far gone.
He's no ace detective. Akechi is the perpetrator behind the mental shutdown crimes.
On top of that, there's someone else commanding Akechi. Someone with great authority. So great that they can order an assassination in a police station. That's why we had to make a move before they did.
I see.
We baited Akechi into Sis's palace, making him dispose of our leader's fake, but think he killed him.
Can you elaborate on that in more detail? What exactly happened in my cognitive world?
We're sorry for using you without your permission. Your palace had all the conditions we needed.
What conditions?
First, we required a place inside the cognitive world that was the same as in reality.
That place is based on the real world after all. Anywhere that's not warped looks just like normal.
That's why nobody but the person who uses the nav even realizes they're in the metaverse.
Back with Kamoshida, we came in from the station without even noticing. You totally can't tell the difference if there ain't any distortions around.
We had already investigated Nijima-san's palace when Makoto brought the suggestion to us.
I was seriously impressed by that suggestion. To be honest, I didn't quite understand it, but I went along with it. And it was absolutely the best decision we could have made.
Makoto is normally so calm as well, but once her mind is set, she gets oddly impulsive.
So is she still is Akechi still in her palace? Or like how did you get him back out of there afterwards?
I did have a bit of a rivalry forming with Akechi, but I just couldn't contain myself anymore once you became a target, sis. The reason I joined the Phantom Thieves was to heal your heart, after all.
My own achievements were all that mattered to me. I was desperate. I wasn't myself at all. I'm sorry I couldn't see that.
That goes for the both of us.
We heard from Mako-chan that you were going to do the interrogation, Nijima-san.
And regarding its location, I take it you used the data from my laptop?
I'm sorry.
Go on.
There were two things we were able to confirm while we were checking the metaverse. First, our clothes didn't change when we were down in the interrogation room. Second, the scenery and details outside of the palace proper were the same as in the real world.
Once we heard that from Makoto, we secretly went to check it out without Akechi knowing.
There was also one more thing we absolutely needed to make this work. A perfect cognitive replica of him in the metaverse's interrogation room.
Since he had yet to be caught, though, there obviously wouldn't be anyone in that room.
Once we saw the casino guests and police officers, we were convinced this would work. They looked no different from actual living people.
After that, we just had to work our way into the palace like usual, while keeping Akechi in the dark.
Everything went as planned up until we defeated Sis's shadow. However, it was then that we were met with a terrifying, unexpected police ambush. As a result, even though we managed to grab the treasure, we couldn't get it out of the metaverse. Except that was all an act. We had prepared an empty briefcase beforehand and merely acted like we were taking the treasure. This was because we knew the police would be coming for us.
We made sure before the operation that the police would be waiting to ambush us. And just as expected, he totally took the bait.
Him getting captured by the police went exactly how we planned it.
And I had been interrogating him with no knowledge of this. But how did you lure Akechi into this cognitive world's interrogation?
Well, that's obvious. That's why you told him to look at the phone. But how did you get him back out of the world afterwards? So, like, I'm assuming the justification here is that because it's not Joker's palace, it doesn't matter that he was killed because it wouldn't affect him in the real world anyway. But I don't, whatever. Putting that aside for the time being, sure, you get him into the metaverse by having him look at the phone. But once he leaves that police station, he's still in the metaverse. He hasn't gone to the return point yet. How did you get from there to there?
All I needed were the coordinates.
Akechi disposed of the fake in the palace and left thinking he had been victorious. It must have been truly hilarious for our leader who sat idly in the real world's interrogation.
But wait a minute, wait, how does it even work anyway? Okay, so when we kill something in the metaverse, they don't bleed out, they disappear. They cornflake into ashes like Thanos snapped them away. But this one had blood effects? What?
Surely he was acting quite cocky by himself in that quiet chamber.
So that's why you gave me your phone. I only took it because of what you told me.
It's a shame I didn't have the opportunity to see that for myself.
All I could do was try to handle all the messages that started coming to me on his phone. Huh. So in other words, I've been to the metaverse, albeit for a brief moment.
In our experience, there is little danger when someone enters their own palace for so short a time.
That's the other reason we had him give it to you. We needed you to listen to Alibaba, deceive the guard, and ultimately aid in his escape. By having you head back to the interrogation room, we could return you to the real world as well.
I mean, I had to think of some way to keep you from running into Akechi mid-assassination.
Huh. Astounding.
Hold on, I need to read that. Okay. In the metaverse, yeah. That's... We obviously gathered that much. Gave it to you so you see the guard have him escape. Having you head back to the interrogation, we could return you to the real world as well. Okay. So you brought her... Like, that's fine. You brought her back from being in the interrogation room. How did you bring him back? At what point did you bring him back? So you bring him back before he left the building? Because if you didn't, then how do phones still work with cell signals? Because he called Shido, so that would have to work in the metaverse. And if you did bring him back before he left, at what point did you do it, and how did you?
I hadn't the slightest idea that such a grand operation was taking place within me.
I'm so glad he was able to persuade you during the interrogation. Even though we knew Akechi's plan, we were pretty worried about that part.
True.
Why is that?
Without Sis on our side, Futaba's plan and subsequent breakout would have never been possible. That persuasion was easily our greatest gamble. We couldn't consult Sis beforehand. It was absolutely the make or break moment of the entire plan.
Still, I'm surprised you could convince me in such a short time. Were you confident you could do it?
I wouldn't call that a short time.
Understandable. Either way, I can't believe you went for such a risky idea.
If we could just tell you the true culprit's plan, I knew you'd realize the bigger picture. Realize that our leader was telling the truth, and that there was a greater evil to pursue.
As a result, we emerged victorious.
Then the reason you kept this a secret from me was so you could catch the true culprit, correct?
Yes. Plus, you had lost control of yourself at the time.
This is stunning. All I can really do is laugh.
I've kind of figured out that you guys made Akechi kill a fake. But what did you do about the body?
The police never even checked it.
Really? Are you really?
They had a coroner working to ensure his death was reported as a suicide. That coroner didn't take one look at the scene and just passed along a falsified death certificate.
The bad guys have that much influence?
But someone still has to collect the body.
Murder in a police station would be reckless otherwise. We also knew of a possible conspirator.
Thanks to Futaba-chan's messages and the guard's demeanor, I eventually came to understand. And since the higher-ups at the police knew nothing of this, they were thrown into disarray. As a result, his suicide during imprisonment was reported on the news, just as Akechi planned.
And with that confusion, he was able to escape with Nijima-san's help.
I made sure nobody would check the morgue for his body, and thanks to that, nobody knows he survived.
Thinking back to the interrogation, though, I can't believe what they did to him. The callous use of violence and even drugs is utterly abnormal. If he had lost consciousness and hadn't been able to tell Sis about the phone, he would have died. I'm truly glad you made it back safe.
I almost became one of your assailants as well.
It still freaked me out when I saw the suicide on the news, though.
We made sure to live normal lives while he was being interrogated to avoid drawing any suspicion. Even with that, I couldn't help but worry for him in my heart.
Well, I knew right away that her plan worked out.
Oh, shut the hell up.
I wanted to believe, but considering what we were up against.
Ryuji's a bit on the dense and carefree side.
Can it, cat?
I had to be patient and avoid this place until things settled down. I finally feel relieved.
We knew he was alive, but it was difficult to not worry until we could confirm it in person.
Now that I think about it, my interrogation was just a formality for the head commander. What a joke, letting me interrogate someone who was meant to die. They just wanted to avoid backlash. Very well. From here forward, I will do my utmost to assist you.
Oh great, I can't wait. My favorite.
After all.
That's reassuring to hear.
I'll do whatever I can to help too. Just let me know. Let's take a break for now, though. This old brain is pooped. Oh, and feel free to use the first floor when you guys want to get together and talk. You'll need a hideout where you can be safe. Just say the word, and I'll close shop early.
Are you sure?
This guy can't leave. Plus, you won't make much progress if people can hear you from downstairs. It's not like this place is the liveliest joint in town. It won't be a huge loss for me.
Let us accept his offer. What a great man.
So, excuse me, what the fuck?
That sounds familiar.
It's me, Akechi.
Enter.
That's the death certificate of the principal offender, correct? Is there a problem with it?
No, nothing in particular. More importantly, you've done well with regard to the prosecutors.
The cause of death for the SIU director has been settled as a stroke.
I had him work quite substantially on forging evidence. His loss should be mourned.
It was thanks to his efforts that I could enter the Phantom Thieves' interrogation room, too.
The SIU is in disarray with his death. I'll take my time choosing a successor after the elections.
At any rate, I'm now praised as a hero,
And I owe it all to the Phantom Thieves.
All possible hindrances are now gone. There's no doubt that this election is mine.
So I was correct. That is his motivation. Yep, of course.
And on to our next story. The snap election for the House of Representatives. Discussion is swirling around potential nominees as the deadline for candidacy announcement nears. Candidates will announce on the 23rd of this month, while voting will be held on the 18th of next.
Elections, huh? Don't matter to us. It's not like we can vote in them yet anyways.
Why don't we resume our conversation?
Well, the Phantom Thieves are back together. We can finally take it to Akechi and the bastard backing him.
Have you figured out who's behind all this?
Akechi accidentally let that slip after the murder. He said, Shido-san.
Shido? Feels like I've heard that somewhere.
He is unmistakably a man of power if he has such strong connections to the police.
Shido? Could it be Masayoshi Shido?
Would he really be that stupid as to let that slip? Like, seriously?
Who? I believe he's a politician. Remember Ryuji? You said his speech was too loud.
For real?
It's certainly possible that Shido is the mastermind.
Huh?
Do you have some kind of evidence?
Nothing material. However, there are various conditions which align with that possibility. First, he would profit from damage done to the current administration by the psychotic breakdowns. He's maintained a negative stance toward the Phantom Thieves and has gained tremendous popularity. On top of that, he'll most likely become the next Prime Minister if he wins this upcoming election.
No!
Did he set us up with that election in mind?
If he is behind all this, that would be in stark opposition to his honest public image.
So his current position and popularity is just him benefiting from the mental collapses.
We'll make him have a change of heart, no matter what it takes. Mom.
Shido, huh?
What is the matter?
I had a feeling he was wrapped up in all this, just based on the connections I had from my previous job. I think the one who crushed Wakaba's research and confiscated her materials was probably Shido. From the moment Wakaba died, I had a hunch he was involved. But there wasn't anything I could do, so I chose to protect Futaba and went into hiding.
Why didn't you say that sooner?
You guys would have definitely gone after him if I had. He would have just killed all of you, no doubt. That's what he usually does to people who get in his way.
Originally, I was looking into the mental shutdown cases. It was then that I accidentally stumbled upon government research regarding the psychotic breakdowns. So I tracked down the whereabouts of that research data and met with the associated parties. Boss was one of those parties. I would never have imagined all of this was connected. The mental shutdowns, psychotic breakdowns, Shido, and even the Phantom Thieves' actions.
Way back when, Shido kept saying he was going to be Prime Minister one day. Nobody believed him, though.
What's going to happen to this country if Shido becomes Prime Minister? What about the world?
The issue is simpler than that. This is nothing more than yet another selfish adult trying to impose his will on the public.
We gotta expose that rotten bastard!
Yeah, we'll do it like always. Then let's check the nav.
Masayoshi Shido, the guy running for Prime Minister. Got a hit! Well, duh. Ain't a surprise he has one.
Where would the location be?
What kind of things go through a politician's head?
I always think of dirty money and shady actions.
What does he do? And where? We don't got a clue about this guy's life.
His palace must be somewhere that politicians frequent. Any ideas?
The Diet Building.
We got a hit!
How arrogant must he be to see himself as the ruler of the Diet Building?
Our next target's the big shot politician Masayoshi Shido. We're gonna do this, right?
We're already going into another freaking palace.
Hell yeah! Nobody against it?
Of course.
He will be a worthy opponent.
Let's win this together.
Time for revenge. Then it's unanimous.
All we gotta do now is figure out what he thinks that diet building place is.
So that's the app that allowed me to enter the metaverse.
An old fart like me can't wrap his head around all this stuff.
We'll have to deal with this before Election Day, December 18th. That means we need it done by the 17th.
It's best we hurry before they discover there's no body in the morgue.
I don't know how the hell they haven't discovered it yet.
Should we start tomorrow then? We can meet at the diet building after school.
That reminds me, what are you gonna do about school? You can't show up if you're supposed to be dead.
Ms. Kawakami said he went back home for family reasons.
That's what I told the school.
Don't let him find out you're alive then, alright? This whole thing would be for nothing.
Are you really? No one's going to think that's suspicious. No one. This. Hey, Clark Kent suddenly stopped coming into work on the same day that Superman died. Wow. That's wacky. That's interesting.
What do you mean?
This operation had another purpose outside of escaping Akechi's clutches. Shido tried to place all the blame on the Phantom Thieves and deceive the public at the same time. He has ruined countless lives, and even made Goro Akechi, a student, assist him with assassinations. A mere change of heart is too lenient a sentence for such an abominable criminal.
We'll be making use of the police statement that the leader of the Phantom Thieves committed suicide. Our leader, who is presumed dead, will come out of hiding to deliver a grand statement. He'll say he has escaped prison, not committed suicide, and was in fact almost killed by a criminal.
Everyone's gonna flip.
You guys thought through all this stuff too?
We're intellectuals, you know.
Oh, shut up. You did not just say that.
That's why you needed such a daring trick as getting captured and appearing to be killed. What frightening teenagers.
But the true battle has only just begun. We won the first round, but we must stay on our toes.
Yeah, this ain't the time to be celebrating.
These people tried to trap and kill us. There is no end to their inhuman, conniving nature. We will need to be prepared for whatever may come our way.
I finally made it this far. It's already been 2.5 years since we met.
Back then, you were in the media's attention as a young politician who could rise up against bureaucracy. Because of that, those who wanted to preemptively deal with problems tried to tie you up in scandal.
To think I would fall for the ruse schemed by those decrepit fools in power. I recall that's when you came to me. You promoted yourself saying you had special powers. If it wasn't for the research on cognition that I dabbled in, I would have thought you insane.
I made those troublesome opponents psychotic, and erased any trace of that scandal.
Who'd think that tampering with a person's heart could trigger a psychotic lapse or mental shutdown? And when someone like that said he'd support me, I had suspected there'd be an ulterior motive.
It's because I sympathized with your aspiring ideology. I believed that your ideals needed to be achieved for the sake of the country's future.
Well, my faith in you was precisely why I pulled the plug on that research. I only need you using that power. It'd be troublesome if someone else uncovered how it works.
Wakaba Ishiki, was it? That researcher. She wouldn't have had to die if she just complied.
Any suspicions should be snubbed out. Even the smallest doubt must be severed at the root. After all, we had an active public prosecutor's office director on our side, until recently.
Astounding, isn't it? To think the director himself often forged evidence to secure his promotion. He was quite surprised when you confronted him about it. He didn't know who leaked that information. Well, I got that out of his shadow, so technically speaking, he did it himself.
This country's affairs have become stagnant. The political world is filled with old men who only act to preserve their own vested interests. The general public has forsaken such political affairs and don't even bother. Only ruin awaits us.
I must agree.
There's no need to be ruined along with such incompetent fools. I will lead this country to its revival. Those who get in the way must be eliminated at times. That's the correct way to use the metaverse.
Still, it would stand out if there were continuous deaths and scandals with your political rivals, which is why I made them suspects. Prosecute the targets that I turn psychotic, and solve them as cases unrelated to you. And thus, the charismatic ace detective was born.
Thanks to your efforts, my clean image remains untarnished, and I've monopolized public opinion. Once I gained public sentiment, collaborators from all sectors began approaching me on their own. The police were no exception. With their management in my pocket, keeping them in check was easy.
When the Phantom Thieves emerged, I thought things might become somewhat troublesome.
And they were just brats once we looked into it. All we needed to do was lay the blame on them.
When you told me that, I knew then that you were the better man.
Their popularity was a bit beyond my expectations, but flipping it made the negative press stronger. After that, all I had to do was openly berate them. I've been gaining more supporters since. The current administration is dead with ongoing scandals. Never mind the fact that they're my doing. Even the government parties have begun splitting up, and they're dissolving just as planned. The time has finally come. Just a little more, and I will take the seat of Prime Minister. However, inauguration isn't my goal. That's when everything truly begins. I'll make this country rich for the sake of its selfish and ignorant masses who can only rely on others.
In other words, you're creating a powerful country that can compete with the world.
The public resonates with my ideals and follows me. And for that, some sacrifices can't be avoided. That is my duty as the chosen one. Your assistance has been very influential in making my plans proceed smoothly. When I become Prime Minister, I'll grant whatever wish you want.
With this most recent case, my name has become known across the country, perhaps even the world. Surely my story will be passed down as a hero who won against monsters that could control people's hearts. I believe I'll lay low and devote myself to my studies.
We are gonna need to have a real long chat when we get done with this long-ass cutscene.
With debauched desires.
I am thinking about the future, though.
Well, how do I put this?
So things finally settled down. Life's gonna get real busy for you starting tomorrow, right? Get some rest.
Well then.
She says take it easy for today. Okay. So, where the fuck do I even begin dissecting that? That plan relied on so much contrivance and convenience that if even a single thing had gone wrong at any point, there was no backup and it would have failed colossally. And, even then, I don't think it should have worked. I don't think even then that it should have worked the way that it was. Because for one, there's no way the body should have fallen the way that that did. It should have just dissipated into thin like every other body that's ever been killed in the metaverse. It shouldn't have fallen onto the ground with blood steaming out the face. I don't know how the hell he got back without anyone noticing. Let me rephrase that. I don't know how the hell he got back from the metaverse. I don't know how the hell, if he didn't get back from the metaverse until Futaba triggered it or whatever, I don't know how the hell he managed to call Shido with his phone. The cell service, I guess, works in the metaverse. And if he got brought back, how the hell, oh my good god. It almost makes the stupid cat argument with Ryuji look better by comparison. And also, I'm getting real sick of the game being like, hey, do you remember that scene where, is this why the fandom has memed pancakes into oblivion? Because the game will not fucking shut up about, hey, remember that scene with the pancakes? Do you remember that scene? I don't think you remember that scene. Let me remind you about it 6 million goddamn times, just to make absolutely sure you remember it. Oh, wow. Like, the drugs alone, the inability the inability to figure out whether, the inability to be sure that Joker could even convince Sei in the first place. The inability to make sure that the remote activation on the metaverse would have even worked when you've never tried this. They've never ever done something with this level of coordinate. With how these people have shown to act in this game, with, like, the whole goddamn time. Just, both in terms of their general competence and level of cognition in this world, like, about their day-to-day lives, and in terms of their ability to orchestrate these detailed things. They barely strung together that plan to descend from the ceiling to grab the diamond in Madarame's palace. You think they could have come up with this elaborate thing with all these little things that could have gone wrong, which required nanosecond precision, precise timing? Like, there's so many degrees and levels to everything about this that just makes my head want to explode. I also like the part in that long-ass cutscene where they're like, I could explain this more, but that would drag out the explanation. It's like, yeah, because if you try to explain it more, it would fall apart at the seams. And I'm sorry, but just fundamentally, not checking for a body, no. No. There's no goddamn way. There's absolutely no goddamn way they wouldn't have checked. That didn't happen. No, there's no way. Also, they basically just said in the conversation that it shouldn't even be possible for her to install an app that quickly. It shouldn't even work. That shouldn't. They said, like, an ace detective wouldn't have suspected for an app to be installed that quickly. It's like, yeah, because apps don't get installed that quickly. But, oh, it's just the tech genius did it, so I guess the tech genius did the tech genius thing, and therefore it's okay. Like, that whole thing is just so goddamn contrived. I don't. This game is frustrating me more and more the longer it goes on. And let's just as the cherry on top, we're now going into another palace immediately afterwards. I was hoping for a break, but that's not happening now. So, I guess we're going back in. Well, I'm going to bed.
I'm gonna head back then.
I can't. My brain is. I'm gonna.
Guess you won't be going to school for a while. Don't worry about it. This will be a breeze compared to what we've had to face so far. And we'll have all the time to come up with the plans together. To be perfectly honest, I don't really care what happens to Shido, one way or the other. But when I consider the fact that he's your enemy, I naturally think he's my enemy as well. I'm going to stay with you until the very end. Well then, we should get to sleep. You know, something that Futaba said before, when you were in a pinch in the palace, she picked up a reading of someone who came to your rescue. Was that... So it was Yoshizawa. Then we'd better let her know you're safe now. And I'll even lend you a hand with that.
So what do we do during the day now? Can we even do anything, or are we just confined to the house all day? I imagine we're just confined to the house all day.
There's no point in even having an election.
Or do we play as Ryuji now? Is that what happens? Or did they just put Ryuji in there so that you could have a scene with everyone? I heard you went home, so I announced it during homeroom, but that's a lie, right? How'd you know? I just knew. Planning something with Sakamoto-kun and the others, huh? Try not to trouble the school of the parents, okay? Also, make sure you're keeping up with your studies. I'll handle your homework, your housework as long as you work. Oh my god. Is it true the leader of the Phantom Thieves died? How could the police let him commit suicide in jail? They need to get their shit together. Cut that out. Quiet down, you're in class. Break's been over for quite some time now. I swear you're like monkeys in a zoo. Oh yeah. I received word from Magic's family that he'll be absent for a bit. What do people think school is anyway? Like they really don't think that no one finds that link suspicious. No one. Especially when it was already, like, the Phantom Thieves have already been suspected to have a link to Shujin Academy. And they believe that Joker has a criminal record. Can't be true, can it? Please tell me you're okay. All good. Thank God you're safe. The suicide report was all over the news, and Miss Kawakami said you went back to your hometown. I was honestly worried about contacting you. Even Sakamoto was dodging the question when I tried to ask him. Don't worry, I won't tell anyone. By the way, the fan site is a real mess right now, but I'll keep supporting you from the shadows. Good luck.
Hey.
You don't need to worry about it in here, but try not to do anything to draw attention. Today's a day off, so eat your curry and take it easy. You can take your time with it too. It's not like any customer's gonna be showing up.
Okay.
Try to think of the keyword once the chief's curry has energized you. Man, oh man. Have you guys figured out the keyword to Shido's palace yet? I tried all sorts of stuff, but no luck so far. It is hard to understand the thought process of a criminal mastermind like him. I've been wondering if he's been behind all those mental shutdowns. Does that mean all the weird accidents from these past few years were his fault? That somebody accident back in April. Now that you mention it, that accident lost the Minister of Transport his job. Wait, are you trying to say that Shido caused that accident? But it's a subway. Does he not care about all the innocent lives? The man seems to be truly unbelievable. Supposedly there are still tons of victims from that in the hospital even now. How many has he killed over the years? How could we ever understand what goes on in the mind of such a horrible man? Wouldn't it be faster if we just go there and try to think about it on site? Let's try that. If we're going to go, I'd like him to join. Will that be okay? Won't somebody spot him there? I'll probably figure out the keyword in no time once we're there. I can throw off any puzzles with my blazing speed. We're going with the intent of not being seen. Well, let's meet in front of the dive building and force that bastard's palace open.
Let's head.
You going out?
No way he lets this happen. There's no way he would ever let him leave.
You're kidding me.
No way. Absolutely not.
You realize you're done.
No fucking way he would ever let him leave this house. No way.
The stunts
Are you kidding me?
Don't stay out too late.
This is the... You could just FaceTime him.
Akechi isn't here.
Like, they're right there. There's people. Wow, you...
Let's begin at once. Police cars are making rounds, so we can't stay here too long. We already have Masayoshi Shido and Diet Building. All we need is what he thinks of this place.
Maybe Mount Fuji, since it's the highest place in the country?
What about a mansion?
Since he's going to subjugate everyone as Prime Minister, perhaps a school?
What about an arena, like the Colosseum?
Imperial Palace?
It's no good.
I thought we would have gained entry by now. Maybe we shouldn't have called you here.
Hey, you think he's guarding his whole palace with a barrier? Shido stole the cognitive science research, right? Well, maybe it had some special move written in it.
Is that even possible?
Who knows? I've got no idea.
There was nothing like that in the notes I saw.
Anyways, what kind of person is Shido? I can't figure him out.
I did some light room last night, but I couldn't get a grasp on the type of man he is.
That man over there is probably a legislator, right? I'll try asking him. Excuse me, I'm a member of the newspaper club at my high school. May I speak with you for a moment?
Sure.
What kind of person is Representative Shido? What's he think about the national diet?
I came to you as a member of the newspaper club with absolutely no notebook or any means to take notes about what you're going to tell me.
His stance is dedication for country. It's how he's garnered everyone's trust. He's an admirable man of action, with a first-class determination. I'd say he's a model politician. I believe that he'll help create a wonderful future in which young adults like you can live in ease.
An exemplary answer.
Which you definitely heard from all the way over here.
Tell teenagers anything unnecessary.
Look over there. He's on a walkie-talkie.
Let's all stare at him. That won't be suspicious at all.
Wait, is it about us?
That doesn't look good.
We should leave at once. Tomorrow's the day off, so let's have an early strategy meeting. Meet at LeBlanc, okay?
We should all think about this tonight.
It's almost like this entire plan was utterly pointless and you didn't have to go anywhere in the first place. Or something like that.
The criminals calling themselves the Phantom Thieves are no more. However, I believe that this country's citizens are still living their days in anxiety. These scandals only increase our distrust of the current government. As a citizen myself, I am enraged.
Look who's talking.
What does it mean to be a politician with responsibility?
I don't know, but you are definitely not going to give me the answer to that question.
Working toward personal gain without consideration of the country is outrageous.
The election's public notification is tomorrow. No matter where I go, people are cheering for Shido.
Everyone's being deceived so easily.
Tried looking Shido's interviews up online, they all sound so goddamn fake. I checked his profile as well, but I couldn't find much outside of his title and education. He's currently 53 years old, and he has gone from being a metropolitan assemblyman to a representative. Though he is a cabinet minister, but he split from the ruling party to form the United Future Party. Shido's a cabinet minister? For real? He was specially appointed to the position that's his current title. Apparently he also won a contest with people who people would most like to have as their boss. Even though the news site she writes about him as though he's assured to become the prime minister. If only we could find out the meaning behind Shido's words.
In order to save this country that has been tainted by villains, social reform is essential.
Ugh.
I'll do one more day and then I'm calling it quits for the night. I have had enough of this. I have had enough of this insanity. Should put an end to, yeah, I'll go for one more day and then I'm gonna stop my recording for the day and I'll pick up again later. This has drained me. As your physician, I would like to confirm something. Please contact me as soon as you see this. I'm still alive. Stop making me worried. I'm glad you're okay. I just got nervous when I saw the news. I'll be at the clinic if you need any medicine. Something about the Phantom Thieves on TV. Oh, that's right. Aren't you all supposed to be gathering here today? Make sure you finish eating before everyone shows up. It's almost time for our meeting. I wonder if anyone's figured out the keyword.
Last one. Diamond mine.
No good.
How many do we miss? Perhaps he truly does have a barrier up.
Right? That's not something to be excited about.
We know all the way up to Diet Building, too.
So you enter keywords into the Metaverse Navigator.
Boss, can you turn the TV on? Shido might be on it.
Sure thing.
Goro Akechi. Him and his stupid composed face.
So, Akechi-san, is it true you withdrew yourself from the media as part of your plan to capture the Phantom Thieves?
I truly apologize for causing such a stir. Honestly, it required a lot of courage to openly oppose them when their popularity was at its peak. I mean, people often lashed out at me online and whatnot.
Then was it also your plan when you said they weren't at fault after their popularity declined?
That was to catch them off guard. I could say I applied my profiling knowledge. Once they lost public support, someone they thought was their greatest enemy lent a hand. That's the same strategy used in romance, wouldn't you agree?
Why is he being treated as an ace detective of justice?
It's not just on TV or online. Newspapers, magazines. I see his face everywhere.
On the other hand, no one's hoping for our comeback on the fan site. Like, at all.
The Phantom Thieves are evil. Shido and Akechi are just. It should be the other way around.
They're manipulating information using the media.
Leaving Akechi aside, we'll get back at him later. Our main issue is Shido.
Were there any instances before when you didn't know the palace keywords?
Well, there was the time with Futaba.
We didn't know anything about her, so all we could do was make conjectures.
Then why don't we just go directly and see Shido?
That's impossible. He's surrounded by bodyguards and followers all the time.
There's no way high school students can get an appointment with him either.
Well, we do have an adult with us.
No, that's still impossible. Besides, that's too dangerous a method.
After the shit you just pulled in that interrogation room, nothing is too dangerous for you fuckers anymore. Nice try.
Well, this is a problem.
What's with the ruckus outside?
Isn't that an election campaign car?
candidates are currently campaigning.
I apologize for the commotion. I am Masayoshi Shido.
Wait, did he just say Shido?
How convenient.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I get it. It's him. I get it. I get it. Thanks for beating me over the head with it.
Man, talk about being lucky. We can go check him out without an appointment now.
Hey, Ryuji ran off.
We are not following them. Are you fucking kidding me?
Wait, we didn't seem well.
Really? Really? Really though? We're gonna
Now is the time to rebuild this crumbling nation. Our government is littered with scandals, and criminals have taken a strong foothold in our society. Such a disgraceful past must be discarded. We must set sail into a new future of dreams and hope.
We're really gonna go run straight towards him. We're really gonna do that.
Carry the burden of the next generation can be proud of their country. So our nation can once again become a powerful one with abundant wealth and luxury. So our beautiful home will be acknowledged as the best country in the world. I humbly ask that you cast your vote for me, Masayoshi Shido. Let us all set sail toward a happy future, together. I hope to continue serving you all.
Is that the guy? You guys wait here. I'll go get intel for us.
Yeah, don't send Ryuji. Send anyone other than Ryuji to talk to him, for Christ's sake.
Yo, Shido-san!
Oh, you can't be.
Stand back.
I just want to talk to him for a sec.
He's a busy man.
The hell? Ain't he supposed to hear a citizen's comments?
That's enough, Brad.
You're that asshole we met at the hotel before, at the elevators. Oh, I'm sorry. So you can butt in front of other people if you're in a hurry?
What are you talking about?
That moron! Come on, stop!
But these guys...
Hey, kid. You don't want to know what happens when you cross me. It seems the...
Yes, I get it. It's him. I know. I know. I know. How do you not remember? How did you not recognize him immediately? He's the man who ruined your life. How do you...
What are you looking at?
Don't look at him in the fucking face.
Clueless children. I worry for Japan's future. Let them go. My next appointment is coming up.
What a piece of shit. So what do you think after seeing him in person?
Crazy, yeah, that did absolutely nothing for us, and only could have possibly did...
Wait, he's the jerk you told us about before? The same guy? For real? Seriously?
It took you this long to figure it out?
You're sure, aren't you? Shido's the one who ruined your life.
Holy shit. I don't believe it.
Let's get going, okay?
Shido's the guy who set you up?
What kind of fate brought you two back together?
Talk about a destined connection. Shido was involved in the cognitive research too, right? This can't be dismissed as just a coincidence.
God, what the hell's going on here?
Shido was already a politician then, yet he sued a student and ruined his future? He must have pulled some strings so that his name wouldn't be mentioned. Furthermore, he also would have had to force that woman into making a false statement.
He would do anything. We're talking about a man who ordered a hit inside the police station.
He can't sit still until he crushes whoever opposes him, no matter how trivial. He's always been that way.
What a piece of shit. Children are the future, my ass! What he's saying and doing are completely different!
But now that we found out who did it, can't something be done about his record?
Once the courts have made a judgment, overturning that decision will be difficult. It'd barely be possible even if proof of innocence is presented and Shido admits to his crimes.
At any rate, we need to trigger a change of heart in him.
Be that as it may, Shido's outer appearance and his true face are wholly different.
Why do I get the feeling that whatever happens with Shido, it's going to feel incredibly disjointed? Because I know that there's 2 more palaces. Someone told me there's 9 palaces. We've done 6 so far. 7th is going to be Shido, and then we have 2 more after that point. So, like, I just have this... I don't... Because I'm assuming that this will be the downfall of Shido in Palace 7, and then Palaces 8 and 9 are going to be something to do with Maruki, and Kasumi's going to come into the picture. I just don't see how they can pull that off without it feeling like a very clear split between, this was the base game, here's the royal stuff. Please enjoy.
It's beyond hypocritical. It's as if he's an entirely different person.
He speaks about the good of the country. It makes me wonder what really is on his mind.
That man's full of ambition to rise in the world. He only thinks of the weak as stepping stools for his success.
He treats himself as an elite man while looking down on others. That's the worst.
I assume the keyword for what he believes the Diet building is will be despicable too.
It must be something self-centered and completely different from politics.
Someone like him needs to be punished as soon as possible.
Let's head to the Diet building again right after school tomorrow. I feel we'll get it this time.
Stewing over it won't get anywhere. We have to do this. So, we're gonna end the episode here. I can't take any more of this today. You'll still see another episode go up today because that's the beauty of pre-recording. But I can't. This was too much for my brain to handle. I can't even begin to fathom what the hell they were thinking. Alright, well that'll be it for now. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for next time. I'm gonna catch you all soon for the next episode of Persona 5 Royal. Goodbye.